Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's Wednesday, the 25th of April 2018. Actually, it's Anzac Day, which we commemorate Gallipoli landings, also World War I in general, and just thought I'd mention that as a fact here in Australia. It's a public holiday as well. I'd like to discuss briefly, if I may, announced plans by the Liberal opposition party there in Victoria, who I expect to be elected in November of this year, for a wide range of reasons, by the way. That they would reintroduce train services up through from from Ballarat right all the way through St Arnaud up to Donald, which and they illustrate, it's like a little gift, they illustrate a velocity train. Well, of course, it won't be a velocity train if they introduce it, because it's standard gauge, or it may be based on a velocity train. And I'd like to suggest a couple of things for people who are interested in lobbying for this in the PTI in Victoria, or maybe other people who have personal interest in the subject. Might like to contact the Victorian government, the current government, and or the opposition, even when they get into government, which I expect to be November, or of course V-Line directly, which I expect that I'll probably do. What I'm proposing basically is a 6-car train. There'd be a half a car for baggage. It'd be drive from both ends, so half a car of baggage and half a car first class, and I mean real first class, that is 2 and 1 seating, and entertainment systems and all the rest of it, like you would get, or you do get in Britain, for example. Another full car of first class, then a snack bar lounge, which would have a few tables and a few settees and rotating chairs and that sort of thing in it. Then you'd have 3, at least 3 economy class sitting cars, and all 2 and 2 seating. So that little 6-car train would be ideal to do Melbourne to Adelaide, replace the current overland, and a shorter version, perhaps a 4-car version of it, to operate to Donald. But also I'd like to see another 6-car set operating several days a week on standard gauge, Melbourne up to Mildura. So it seems that they could have a couple of peak days of the week. The Donald service would operate certain days, like Fridays and Sundays and so on, but certain days of the week there'd be also through service up to Mildura. Now, a similar type of set could operate Melbourne to Albury, and indeed I've always felt that the Albury service ought to be extended up to Wagga. And you get Calcare, Rock and Henty and all those towns and so on along the way, and Wagga's a big place, very big place, so it would seem to me that a twice-a-day service to Wagga, as well as the current XPT services, would be a very welcome addition. Even if it means virtually a once-a-day evenings up to Wagga and back in the mornings, that would be a good start. So I'm putting this idea of a 6-car standard gauge velocity out there, as it were. I never put anything which you could call pie in the sky. I always put something that I consider to be realistic up there, and I would hope that all concerned would actually consider it, and I'd like to write a letter to the Railway Digest and say it as well in that magazine, because management, from all states in the railway systems actually read that magazine, because it's very, very well edited and carried out, and the articles are excellent. There's high quality maps and and it's not just a pure rail enthusiast, let's say, magazine. It is for rail fans, but it covers all the news and ideas, and they publish letters and so on that sometimes they're quite reasonable suggestions, obviously. So anyway, I'd like to put that idea out there, as it were, for people to consider, and thanks for viewing.